my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Jesus. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. He taught me how to live my life as it should be. He taught me how to turn my cheek when people laugh at me. I've had friends before, and I can tell you that he's one who will never leave you flat. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Jesus. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is a friend of mine.
Everything's ungodly. He's not a Christian. Well, hell, George said it too. Gargle, like it. Gargle, like it. Gargle, like it.
Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Jesus. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine.
Get the hell out of my house. Get the hell out of my house. Everything's ungodly. This is tainted.
Hey freaks, it's Friday, May 24th, 2019. Coming up on the program today, catching the turds that are dropping from your butthole into your hands. Why? Plus, the Bionic Dick Man finally gets laid, and an amusement park ride where you get to kill Princess Diana. Fun! All coming up today.
You clamp down on that goddamn kid and you bite it off! The most wonderful thing about me, I'm warm and sensitive.
Yeah, burrito number 3. Oh.
It's the Distorted View Show with Tim Henson.
All right, hey freaks, Timothy James Henson back here with you to end the week with the Friday show. Got a good one for you today. Yesterday on the Sideshow exclusive podcast, we were talking a little bit about Tony Robbins. He has been appearing on infomercials since the 80s, and I kind of lumped him in the same group as Don Lapre, but really, Tony Robbins is more about just selling you bullshit, self-help tapes and seminars. Aside from his distribution method, is Oprah really that much different than Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins appeared on late-night television shows that, he paid for. And, he'd get on and he would say that I've written a book. Look, I know what it's like to be a fucking loser. 5 years ago, I was just like you, a slob, sitting on the couch, wide awake at 3 a.m., watching TV, eating Doritos and drinking expired milk, your mind racing, your brain constantly telling you that you're not good enough, you're gonna die alone. What self-respecting woman would want to be with a man whose job is assistant pony brusher at a petting zoo? It's embarrassing. Look at yourself. In Tony's personal history, he would talk about how he was a freak of nature in high school. Like, he's 6'7". He's a tall guy now, but apparently in the span of like a month, he grew a foot, all due to a pituitary tumor. Imagine what that does to your body. He also said his home life was chaotic and abusive. Then when he was 17 years old, he began his career promoting seminars for motivational speakers. That's when he learned the art of bullshitting, and he created, his first personal growth system. I love that a man that shot up a foot in 8th grade was writing a personal growth system. It was a tumor in your case. More of like mental personal growth. Anyway, so, he's been very successful. As I reported on the show, though, Robbins has been criticized for his comments on the Me Too movement, saying, these bitches need to calm down. I'm paraphrasing. He said, if you use the Me Too movement to try to get significance and certainty by attacking and destroying someone else, all you've done is basically use a drug called significance. Ask your doctor if significance is right for you. Yes, you use a drug called significance to make yourself feel good. Anyway, it appears that people are and now women have come forward and said that they have been sexually assaulted or harassed by Tony Robbins. And today, some not very flattering video has emerged, and that's why I am again talking about him on the podcast. This time, it involves racist shit, and I hate to do this, but someone has to defend Tony Robbins. Yeah, I'm gonna defend the use of racist language. Stop being such pussies. They're just words, right? All right, yes, I understand words hurt, and the N-word is especially heinous in most cases. In a few cases, though, it can be hilarious. If you want to find out in which circumstances the N-word is acceptable and how you should use it, you gotta buy my seminar. Tim Henson presents the niggling details of using white people's favorite racist slang. All right, so BuzzFeed released this video, and man, I don't know what Tony Robbins did to BuzzFeed, but they are pissed at him. They're the news outlet that investigated him for a year and then published the story just a week or two ago alleging him of all that sexual misconduct, and now they're back with this racist stuff. Someone must have really got burned on his personal power self-help audio tape. Can't believe I paid $59.95 for this bullshit. I'll teach you, Tony Robbins. All right, so here is the audio, and, in the clip, Tony Robbins is in a pink tank top. He must have just been starting out. He looks very young here. This probably took place in the late 80s or early 90s. And I get it, like the N-word is not acceptable or was not acceptable back then either, but it was less not acceptable. It was a little more acceptable. We weren't such crybabies about it. I mean, people could use the word when talking about the word in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you say the N-word at all, you're a racist. But back then you could say, hey, you know what word I don't think people should be saying? Nigger. I don't like it when white people call black people niggers. Like today you can't say that. They will bleep you. There's no accounting for context. We hear that word and we are immediately getting on to it. I can't believe this person said the N-word. All right, so keep that in mind because I really think that's kind of where Tony's coming from here. Take a listen.
As long as a man can look at you and say, nigger, the whole room went, so as long as somebody can do that, as long as somebody's calling you nigger and get that kind of response I see in you right now where you're ready to explode, then what you've done is given that person absolute control of you. You have no control in your life. You are still a slave.
Oh, well, that's a little much, but I get what he's saying, and I think he's talking to a black person in his seminar. He's saying, look, you should not give that word so much power. Don't let that word have power and control over you. The news is going crazy with this clip. Self-help guru Tony Robbins was filmed repeatedly using racial slurs and saying he kissed a fan after she said his techniques did not work during a seminar in the 1980s. In the video, Robbins is seen using the N-word and a racial slur for white people repeatedly during a section of an hour-long presentation. Now, I know, just because one black person says something, I shouldn't say, look, all black people feel this way. But there are a lot of black people in the comments on YouTube saying, I'm black. I get his point. This is not offending me. This really is political correctness run amok, right?
You have no control in your life. You are still a slave.
The crowd gasps.
You are. By you and nothing else. And I said, I'd like to have you be free because I'm free and I'm white. So why don't you pretend that we're going to get you free right now? I suggest here's the way to do it. Everyone stand up. And only a few people are. I said, stand up. Come on, try something with me. Trust me just for a moment. Pretend I'm black. I get them to stand up, right? Now they're all standing up. I said, now you guys just do what I do just for a minute if you really want to be free and if you want to have some fun. So let's try this. I stood up and I said, okay, follow me. Do what I say what I say, move the way I move. I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, be a nigger, to be a nigger.
Okay, I didn't get to that part before I formed my opinion on Tony Robbins. I guess I should have watched the whole clip. I mean, I still get it. I don't think he's doing it in a hateful or racist way. I think he's trying to diffuse that word, but he's saying it an awful lot. Again, though, it's clear that he was doing a seminar for black people here.
Follow me. Do what I say what I say, move the way I move. I'm a nigger, you're a nigger. Be a nigger, too. Be a nigger. Ooh, be a nigger.
This reminds me, oh my God, do you know who this reminds me of?
But if you niggerize, then it almost feels like we have lost our rights. And if you faggotize, does it almost feel like they aren't learning more?
That's the guy who legally changed his name to David Super Nigger. I can say that, this is an example of I'm allowed to say the N-word because it's his legal name. He changed it, and somehow the government was okay with it. I think he's from Florida. It all is starting to make sense, right? Anyway, he's got mental illness, I think. I mean, how can he not, right? But his point is the same. Like, we need to change the meaning of the word. Take power away from it and make it into a good thing.
I'm not sure how many will accept the niggering of the N-word.
So he uses it in all sorts of ways, right? The niggering of the N-word.
And I'm not sure how well it will actually split.
Which is weird. He said he calls it the N-word, like he won't say it, but then he'll use it as a verb or something. Isn't that what that is? A verb or a participle or something? I don't know. I'm not good with grammar. I just find it funny. Sometimes he'll say N-word and sometimes he'll just say the word.
For the world abroad, the niggering of nigger will not be as difficult as it will be for America.
They're
America
evolved.
is where this word was born, and it was born in a crucible of fire, pain, hate, slavery, condemnation, separation, segregation, inflammation.
The situation, the combination,
Niggerations.
One of the worst-selling perfume brands of the 1990s. Well, there's a stupid joke no one's gonna get. There was a perfume in the 80s and 90s called Exclamation. You can still find it. I think they only sell it during Christmas season as like a cheap gift. You get a lady in your life that you don't really care about. Like, I gotta spend under $10. I'll get her an Exclamation gift pack. They had commercials. And by the way, this commercial was super hard to find. They only did one version where they're like, exclamation, constipation, stagnation, where they're singing all the different nations. There's 25 different varieties of exclamation ads. There's only one where they sing the different Asians, and that's the one I remember. By the way, I went on Amazon to see if this thing was still available, and yeah, you can still buy exclamation. It comes in a little, like, exclamation mark bottle. The comments are kind of funny, because like me, they're stuck in the 80s and 90s. The first review is, I'm trying to raise my daughter like it's still the 1980s. Like, that poor little girl. Fashion was horrible in the 1980s. Poor little thing probably goes to grade school with makeup caked on like a whore, a clown whore, ripped, tattered, tight jeans, hot pink and green top. The kids probably think she's poor. Here's another comment. This has been my signature scent since I was 13 years old. I love cheap perfume. Oh, these sad, sad people. All right, I'm getting off track here. Let me just rewind a bit. Let's get back to Tony Robbins saying the N-word.
Okay, when I'm done, repeat after me. I'm a honky, you're a honky. And I said, I'm a honky nigger, you're a nigger honky. We did this whole thing. They're painting each other going. There's one guy who's like the most militants walking up to this other white guy in the audience and going, hey, honky nigger, how you doing? He goes, hey, nigger honky, how are you?
Wow, he says that word a lot in this 1 minute clip. And as this video progresses, he sounds more and more like David Super Nigger. I'm a honky nigger, you're a nigger honky. It's the same thing. He's like making little songs trying to bring the world together through the N-word, which is a little misguided. A lot of misguided. He's very excited about this, though. And, it's the 1980s. We were all doing a bunch of coke. Everyone was a spaz back then. Tony Robbins' lawyer strongly denied the motivational speaker was racist. I don't think he's racist. I think he said these things and said it a lot, but again, I don't think his heart was in a bad place when he was saying it, right? All right, Robbins' lawyer strongly denied the motivational speaker was racist or racially insensitive and said the excerpts from the video shows the presentation was positive and was accepted in the context in which it was conducted. I mean, the audience did seem to like it. I mean, I don't know who the audience was. Probably all white people. Passionate discussion about racism and how to rise above it. Anyway you slice it, though, it's not been a great week for Tony Robbins. We'll see what else BuzzFeed has up their sleeves next for Tony Robbins, whether bombshells. All right, let's move on now. Seems like we're always having a discussion about poop on the podcast. poop or poop-related activities, right? The proper way to wipe. Do you wipe sitting down, standing up, front to back to front? Do you use a bidet? Do you wet toilet paper? Do you go in dry? This is what we've been dealing with here on Distorted View Daily. On other radio shows, they're stuck at a more basic question. Do you wipe? Like, it's an option. Like, do you clean your asshole after you take a shit? Actually, it is a little more nuanced. The question is, do you wipe or do you pull the turds out of your asshole with toilet paper? That's something I didn't think anyone did, but I was wrong. There's at least one man in America grabbing shit and pulling.
Just like we all touch shit before.
I've never shitted in a tissue before.
You touch shit.
These sound like two very intelligent people. I never shitted in a tissue. Everyone knows the past tense of shit is shat.
Just like we all touch shit before.
I've never shitted in a tissue before.
You touch shit every single day if you shit. Like, you don't wipe yourself? It got shit in the tissue when you wipe yourself.
You don't know how to get Why are you touching the shit? The tissue is for the shit.
That's what I'm saying. You grab shit all the time.
No, you're not saying that. You don't. Yeah, you
You're
wipe.
Not wiping, you grab the shit.
You don't grab. Why are you grabbing shit?
Hold on.
Do you got shit stuck in your ass while you're taking...
So you telling me that y'all just let the doodle fall in the toilet? Y'all don't catch it every time?
Yo. I am about to leave, bro.
How do y'all take a shit?
How do you take a shit?
I must have seen this shit wrong.
My nigga.
I've been catching
yes, you let it drop in the toilet. Why would you not let it drop in the toilet? Why would you catch it?
This shit wrong.
My nigga.
On one hand, this guy has never experienced a splashback. I'm a little envious of that. On the other hand, he's holding his hand under his butt as he's pooping, like a catcher.
I'm about to leave, bro.
How do y'all take a shit? I must have seen this shit wrong.
My nigga.
I've been catching my shit all these years.
Nah, I'm more disgusted than I feel like I can't continue.
What are you?
I feel like you should not be shaking his hand.
I can't continue.
What are you talking about?
My stomach.
So hold on. So y'all just sit there and shit come right out. No way.
What happens if you got the runs or something like that? What do you do then?
That shit, you wash your hands. Why do you think people wash their hands?
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
With tissue.
Yeah, but if you got a diarrhea situation, there's no way that the tissue is going to contain what you're trying to catch. You nasty. That's a new one. I've never heard of someone doing this before. I've heard of Middle Eastern people or like Afghanistan people. Don't they they don't have toilet paper, so they actually wipe with their hands. Even they think it's stupid to catch turds with your hands. Like, no, you wipe your ass clean with your bare hand. You don't catch the turd. You let it drop. You pinch it off. That's why it's called pinching a loaf. Good Lord. Oh, I'm looking at the next topic here. It just gets grosser. Do you guys know Demetra Nix? Probably not. She takes a unique approach to breaking down period taboos. According to an article in the Huffington Post, this past summer, the 26-year-old sex coach from Los Angeles began smearing her menstrual blood on her face every month. It's a beauty regimen. Oil of oh my God. She said that she put the period blood on her face on a whim while creating a video. Fucking YouTube is going to destroy us as a people. She created a video about loving her body. You can just hug yourself. There are other less nasty ways. You nasty too. Everyone's so nasty. All right. Because of the reaction I received, I realized this was a radical thing. Yeah. Smearing any type of blood on your face. Weird. Especially pussy blood. You may say, Tim, wow, you are just proving her point that there is a stigma about period blood. And I would say maybe there should be. There's a difference between mouth blood and pussy blood. That's like if I smeared asshole blood. If I popped a hemorrhoid or something and I started smearing that on my face. It's extra gross. It has nothing to do if you're a woman, or a man. We all have gross places where we bleed from. All right. She said, maybe some little girl somewhere will see the blood between her legs and think, well, if Demetra puts it on her face, maybe it isn't that gross after all. Now, I'm a guy, so maybe I should not have an opinion on this, but I just feel like we all know periods are normal. We get it. Still, it doesn't have to be something you're showing off. You know what's embarrassing for a young guy growing up? Wet dreams, nocturnal emissions. You know, you're embarrassed, like, oh my God, I made a sticky mess in my pants and it's all over the sheets of my bed and mom's going to find out. I know what I'll do. I'll just scoop it up and slather it on my face so I've got dripping jizz from my chin. And I'll walk down to the kitchen for breakfast and just say, Mom, I'm proud of my semen. Ridiculous, right? I do have a clip here. This is not the same woman. This is a different woman. This is quite a movement. This woman appeared on, I think this is an Australian show called Medicine or Myth. And she's going to show off how she slathers her face in period blood. She says it has a medicinal purpose. It makes her feel better. It cures her period pains to smear the menstrual blood on her face.
By doing this, it has relieved the discomfort.
Okay, sorry for disturbing you. Go right ahead now.
Okay.
Looks like there's a panel of doctors on the couch just watching and evaluating these nut jobs. It's like Shark Tank. Well, Shark Tank meets Shark Week. There's a lot of blood in this scene. All right, so she's got like this little container, a little clear jar of her blood that she is going to smear on her face.
Right ahead now.
Okay. So what?
Yeah, one doctor is visibly creeped out.
Calm down.
The other doctor's like, calm down, dude. You're a professional.
I would normally connect with the blood, and just by doing that, it instantly does something to me. And then I would...
Yeah, it makes you dirty.
So...
She's putting it on her forehead.
I've painted my whole face before, so every time's different.
She's going from her forehead all the way down her nose. She's now spreading it on her cheeks. A rosy blush. Oh, and now she's painting it on her lips. I'll make this woman today's featured image over there at distortedview.com and superfreaksideshow.com. Want to see what a pussy blood painted face looks like. I love the new age music.
I have to say, when you came down and put that jar of menstrual blood there, I thought, icky. And now I see everything that you're doing, and you've got so much peace coming off you.
Peace.
And you've converted what was clearly a very distressing...
This woman cannot be a doctor.
...physical situation into something...
I'm a healer. I use crystals.
...really profoundly beautiful.
Like, I just want every woman to feel it, you know? It's like, brings up this, like... It's like I know what women go through. I know that pain. I know that shame. I feel for the women that are struggling with this.
Okay, great. I guess if you're a woman, you're supposed to thank this broad. I mean, she painted her face in menstrual blood for you. Where's the solidarity? She knows what you're experiencing. All right, and with that, let's get into the crazy, bizarre twist and the fucked up news right now. Hey, if you like Distorted View Daily, please consider supporting the show. Could really use your help. Go to superfreaksideshow.com. Become a true and honorable freak over there. When you sign up, you get full access to the entire archive of programs. Well over 3,000 shows. I've been at this since December 2004. So there is, a fuck ton of shit that you've missed out on. Every week we do exclusive shows just for paying members. Yesterday I did a Sideshow exclusive program, and Tuesday we did another exclusive podcast. You can grab all of the exclusive content, and all the stuff in the archive. Just go to superfreaksideshow.com, sign up. It's very inexpensive. It's only $6.99 a month, even less when you opt for a quarterly, semi-annual, yearly, or lifetime membership. It gets that price down to like $5-something a month. Other ways to support the show, we do have a Patreon account, patreon.com/distortedview. All right, 3 very quick stories now. First up, it's every little girl's dream to become a princess, right? Well, now you can. Unfortunately, you've got to be Princess Diana during her last moments of life. Do y'all remember how Princess Diana died back in the 90s? You may be too young. If I remember correctly, it was all due to the paparazzi. Princess Diana and her lover got in a car, and the paparazzi basically were chasing them through the streets of Paris, I don't know, somewhere in France. They went through a tunnel, and then they crashed, and she died, right? Well, Now, a theme park... Oh, no. How is this a real news story? A theme park ride, which allows people to experience the crash, which killed Diana, Princess of Wales, is set to open. And on top of it, they charge people £20 each ride. They're charging you to reenact a death. As if that's not bad enough, people will then be able to vote on whether they think the royal family was involved in the collision. The attraction, and I use that term loosely, the attraction is part of a new park celebrating U.S. magazine The National Enquirer. It opens tomorrow in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, next to Dollywood. As insensitive as this ride sounds, I can't help but think it could be a lot of fun if they set it up like Mario Kart. You play the paparazzi, and it's your task to take that bitch down. You know, and throughout the whole thing, you hear Princess Diana talking to her driver, and you gotta, try to catch up to him.
Driver, please take a left.
I'm gaining on your royal ass.
Driver, in a mile, make a right. I think we should go through the tunnel. That's our best course of action.
Oh, she's getting away. Oh, good. Power up. Yes, blue shell.
Faster. The paparazzi are gaining on us.
All right, I gotta time this just right.
The tunnel is just up ahead now. We're almost home free.
Nuh-uh, see you in hell. Bombs away.
When we get home, shall I order in some food? What's that noise? Oh, bollocks.
Insensitive, yes, but it seems like a lot of fun. All right, creator Robin Turner said it's a 3D computer model and you're looking down on what looks like Paris, but it's three-dimensional. It's projected and you see the buildings and everything in a 3D presentation, and it shows the pathway as she left the Ritz Hotel and the paparazzi chasing her, and the bang flash that we think blinded the driver and how it all happened. Turner said there's no blood. Oh, so there's a possibility we might see a port of this on the Nintendo Switch. There's no blood, there's none of that. You see the car crash through computer animation. Oh, is it one of those rides where the screen is all around you and then you sit in a cart or something that sort of moves around? When I was at Disney World, I went on one of those things. You strap in and it sort of lifts you up and it just sort of tilts left and right, and it's, you watch footage of hot air balloons and jets and stuff, and it feels like you're flying. The attraction will lead people through conspiracy theories surrounding the crash. Turner said, you'll be polled on what you believe was the cause of her death and who was behind it. We ask questions like, do you think the royals were involved? Do you think she was pregnant? All we do is ask questions on what's your opinion. Turner added, it's definitely not in poor taste. Really, it's just showing the route of what happened. And, of course, turning it into a fun game. For people who've never been to Paris, it's just showing how beautiful it is. No, it's just showing the topography and the distance, the tunnel, all that kind of stuff. It's done very professionally. Rick Laney, head of communication for the park, confirmed the attraction existed, although said it was a small part of the Royal Closet attraction. He said it features an interactive screen where you can flip through the closets of the royal family members, and an activity where you can examine their family trees. The Diana piece is only a small part. The park is said to have 100 attractions within its 20,000 square foot space, including a tribute to the famed September 1977 National Enquirer cover photo of the corpse of Elvis Presley in its open coffin. So, it's classy. If you want to go, and I do kind of want to go. Now there's a reason to go to Pigeon Forge. I always kind of wanted to see Dollywood, but I was like, it's just not quite enough to make me go to Tennessee. Now there's another thing to do there. National Enquirer Live is the name of the park. All right, second story we have for you today. Remember the story of Muhammad Abad? He's the 44-year-old man with the bionic penis. Wah, 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 wah. We've read about him a few times. He was left without a functioning penis after he was in a bit of a car accident. Specifically, the car dragged him along the road as a child. And apparently he was on his stomach, maybe? And the penis was scraping along the road until it, rubbed off. At the time, he got by with a rudimentary flesh tube. If you're looking for a kick-ass name for your band, rudimentary flesh tube might be it. Should be a contender. He lived with that rudimentary flesh tube for about 40 years. Finally, in 2012, he underwent surgery to get a $100,000 prosthetic penis. He was so excited to get a working dick that kind of looked normal. But still, he couldn't use it. Even though he got the surgery in 2012, you gotta wait years for the penis to take. The dick has to settle in to your body, I guess. The Bionic 8-inch phallus, wow, he went all out. The Bionic 8-inch phallus possesses 2 tubes that fill up with liquid from his gut. Gross. After he presses a secret hidden button on his testicle. The penis is crafted out of flesh from his arm. When he got out of the hospital, he said that he had to keep his penis erect for 2 weeks. That's in order, for everything to heal. As for the old rudimentary flesh tube, what was left of his penis, he says, my old penis didn't go to waste. My surgeon used it to make my scrotum. Waste not, want not, right? All right, so there was a news report saying finally he's able to use his penis. He's all set to go. Tragedy then struck again. Less than a week later, his plan had to be delayed. He was involved in another car crash. Thankfully, that crash did not rip off his schlong. According to the Sun newspaper, a friend said, after everything he's been through, this is the last thing he needs. Luckily, the middle of his body was fine. He lost both legs, but the middle part is fine. No, he did not lose both legs. All right, then, according to Vice, political candidate and winner of the 2013 Sex Worker of the Year Award, Charlotte Rose, got in touch with him when she heard about his plight and offered to assist him by helping him lose his virginity. They were going to get together, but then the car crash happened. So then, earlier this month, finally, they reconnected. They spent a few days getting to know one another, right? And then, finally, all the sex was supposed to go down. Unfortunately, there's another unfortunately here. His testicle pump didn't work. I don't know if he couldn't find the secret button, or he didn't have enough gut juice to prop that motherfucker up, but Abad's penis failed to inflate. Bum, bum, ba, ba. Wow. The next evening, though, thankfully, everything went according to plan. Abad said when Charlotte saw it for the first time, she was silent. Never a good sign. I was a bit worried. But then she said, it's incredible. It's nice to hear a lady say that. I've never heard anyone say that. Like, look at my penis. Behold the magnificence.
It's spectacular.
I know. No, I never hear that.
It's adequate.
It should get the job done. All right, if you know what you're doing. And guess what? I don't know what I'm doing. All right, in the end, he lasted for 1 hour and 3/4. She said she was honored to be asked because, quote, your first time is a memory in your life you'll never forget. Abad still has 1 testicle. Wow. We missed that detail earlier. He still has that 1, though, meaning he can produce sperm if he wants to father children. He says, I've got an outpatient appointment on October when my doctor is going to discuss what he's going to do in the future. I mean, what else do you want? I would like it a little bigger. He wants to know what my testosterone levels are. He knows what my sperm count is. It's probably better than yours. Wow, bragging now. All right, final story we have for you today. We've talked about that amusement park. No, not the Princess Diana Death Amusement Park. I'm talking about the amusement park in northern Kentucky where there is a full-size replica of Noah's Ark on display. It cost an incredible amount of money, and it is an incredible waste of time. This park consistently loses money because no one really wants to see this bullshit. Well, now, the owners of Northern Kentucky's Ark Encounter, a wooden replica of the biblical Noah's Ark, they're suing over rain damage. This Ark was supposed to be the same Ark in scale and size, in materials that Noah built and contained all the animals during that huge-ass fucking flood. In the Bible, the Ark survived an epic flood, yet the owners of Ark Encounters are demanding their insurance company bail them out after flooding caused nearly $1 million in damages. You know, whenever like a natural disaster hits a highly populated area, like an earthquake hits San Francisco or something, it's like immediately Pat Robertson and people like him are like, well, obviously this is God's wrath. There's so many homosexuals in San Francisco. God is just expressing his displeasure with these people. How come, like, when bad things happen to this Ark Encounter, it's never because of God being pissed off? Maybe God doesn't like your replica. Crosswater Canyon Inc. and the Ark Encounter have filed suit against multiple defendants who comprise the business's insurance underwriters after the property was damaged by heavy rains. A boat should be able to take on some water. Subsequent to heavy rains, a significant landslide occurred along the portions of the slope which eliminated the structural support for the roadway. It caused significant damage to the road surface itself and the incorporated improvements and rendered portions of the road unsafe and unfit for use, reads the suit. The lawsuit states that engineers fixed the roadway. Oh, is it just the roadway? I was kind of hoping the rain damage would have been to the actual Ark. The lawsuit states that engineers fixed the roadway at a cost of about $1 million, but when they asked insurers to cover the repairs, the insurers refused. The defendants denied liability, according to the lawsuit, citing acts of God, citing faulty craftsmanship as the reason for the road issues. Is this a road or is this like a wooden road that leads to the Ark? Like a pathway or something. Officials with Ark Encounter encouraged them to reconsider. The defendants later said only a part of the Ark Encounter's loss was covered under the policy. The lengthy lawsuit asks for both punitive and compensatory damages. The 510-foot wooden Ark, modeled after the one in the biblical story of Noah, opened in July 2016. The group that built the Ark, Answers in Genesis, promotes a literal interpretation of the Bible's Old Testament and predicted 2.2 million visitors a year. I just did a quick search. I didn't realize this, but Williamstown, where the Noah's Ark experience is, it's only 42 minutes away from Cincinnati. I could totally go. I would never want to, but it's nice to have that option. All right, there you go. That, my friends, how far away is Pigeon Forge, Tennessee? I want to play some Super Princess Diana Kart. Well, that's almost 4.5 hours. I'd still rather make that drive than the drive to the Ark Encounter. All right, there you go. That, my friends, is your Distorted News for Friday. Let's do a couple voicemails and get the hell out of here. I love to hear from you freaks, and there are many ways to contact the show. My email address is show@distortedview.com. My Twitter handle is @distortedview, same for Instagram. And finally, facebook.com/distortedviewshow. All right, let's check in with a few freaks here.
Hey, Tim, this is Sideshow Freak Harrison Ford Hater here. Today you're talking about the otherkins and how they're in relationships and such. And yes. Really what pisses me off the most about them is this, like, picky, choosy bullshit where they're like, look, Mom, I didn't get to choose that I'm a raccoon. I just am. This is who I am. But
until they get bored being a raccoon and they're like, I want to be a fox.
Then they get...
Or they get a good deal on a used raccoon costume and they're like, you know what? I think I'm going to be a raccoon.
Be in a relationship with a panther and they don't adhere to the lifestyles of either. They're like, this
that's your problem. They don't really act like panthers.
The whole lifestyle change, and it's so important, and you have to accept it. But we're not gonna actually act like the animals. We're just gonna pretend like it.
Oh yeah,
and you had mentioned it.
They get to turn that on and off as they want to, right? They go to work as a human being, but when they come home, then they can turn on the fox.
A leopard would tear the shit out of a raccoon. So what's the point of even pretending to be an animal? You can pretend to be an animal all you want.
It's like a cartoon version of the animal kingdom where all the animals sort of get along and don't immediately attack and eat one another.
Or like as important as transgender rights, because you're not adhering to any theme. Just adhere to the theme.
I love that this is what's bothering you about them. They don't attack each other.
And I'm the NASA spaceship. I also had another idea that maybe in the future, freaks could impersonate famous sound clips that you have on the show.
Oh, okay.
Like, for example, your ting, your ting,
ting.
Maybe voicemail callers can like try and impersonate it.
Yeah, you can impersonate Roy Killer War saying crystal meth loosens up the butthole. John Asante screaming, "I'm a human being!"
Hey, Tim, Velveeta calling in again.
Hello,
Sorry, it's been a while,
Velveeta.
but just wanted to say I'm listening back through some of the old shows as I drive. I apologize for background noise, but started talking about more soda shit. Dude, I fucking love when you talk about that shit. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just weird like that too.
Yeah, well, I think you're in the minority. I try to keep that to a minimum, but sometimes I just get so excited. Earlier this week, I was like, oh my God, they're bringing back New Coke. By the way, I don't know. I totally lucked out on this one because Coca-Cola was selling New Coke starting at 5 p.m. on Thursday, and sure fucking enough, right? As soon as 5 o'clock hit, you couldn't do anything on their site. It would crash over and over and over. And sometimes it would display the page, and then you go to the checkout, and that's when it came up with like 502 gateway error, these bullshit errors. But I was just, preparing for my show, being a good boy, good worker. And I noticed, the time is like 4:50. And I was like, you know what? Let me just refresh this page and see what's going on. And I got through. Like, they turned the site on a few minutes early. And before everyone jumped on at 5 o'clock, I was able to secure myself a couple New Cokes. So, yay for me.
Love when you go off about that shit. And I want to know if you tried, what is it? Mountain Dew spiked lemonade. It's this weird prickly pear bullshit thing. I can only find it online and in certain Taco Bell
I'm pretty sure I think I did try it when it came out.
That shit is like some of the best soda I've ever had.
Really? I think that has some sort of like, I always check the can now because they trick you. They show that there's sugar in it. And, I hate diet sodas. I can't drink it. I think it's just nasty. Any type of fake or alternative sugar, sweetener, whatever. Can't handle stevia. Don't like that. Ace K, whatever. So sometimes now they'll sweeten it with like half sugar and half diet bullshit. And I think that's what happened with that spiked Mountain Dew, whatever. And I did not like it.
Tim, I just wanted to let you know today at Walmart I saw a midget and he spilled mozzarella sticks all over the floor in like 3 boxes.
Now that's funny. Why didn't you pull out your camera and video record that?
It was pretty funny.
That little midget going, "Don't take my picture! I don't like when people take my picture!"
So, fuck you, Tone Deaf Sean, and Haley's Comment, and Dan from Texas.
Tone Deaf Sean?
And that furry fox, or whatever the fuck.
He never calls in anymore.
All right, you go.
All right, well, let's just end it right there. Thank you, everyone, for all of the voicemails. Keep them coming. That's all the time we have on this edition of the show. Want you guys to email me, show@distortedview.com. Distortedview.com is our official website. Voicemail line for you, 206-666-4463. That's 206-660. God, is it hooked?
No, I've never shitted in a tissue.
Spread the distortion, STD. Tell all your friends about the podcast. Don't forget to rate us and review us on iTunes. Guys, thank you so much for a great week of programs. Have a wonderful extended Memorial Day weekend. I'll be back on Monday doing at least a mini program for you guys, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, have a great day. Bye, everybody.
To Timmy Boo Hansen. Timmy Boo, y'all nigga for sure, G. Timmy Boo, what it do? Timmy Boo, what it do? What's up, boo?